You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show. Hello and welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx brothers. I'm Kirk.
I'm Kyle.
I am Nick.
Alright,
We can't see him. Maybe we'll cut that like that.
Huh?
You think?
What?
I think, therefore...
Therefore I am. And we are joined by...
maybe.
And we're joined by Mick Lynch, composer and producer. We are in the spoilers for Wake Up Dead Man.
The thing I was holding back this whole time is that,
Yeah.
Carl Jung's thought is that, or the theory is that people that believe seem to live happier, healthier lives longer because they have something they believe in. So whether or not there is a God,
It doesn't matter what they're believing,
sometimes I'm not so worried about, or sometimes it's not about what you believe, but how hard you believe it.
That's one of the worst Harrison Ford impressions I've ever heard.
Is that supposed to be
You're
Harrison
It's
welcome.
Ford?
supposed to be Indiana Jones.
Oh.
That took me...
I'm very proud of you for knowing exactly what that was.
You threw me off of remembering what that was from for a second with how bad the voice was.
Damn. Yeesh. Alright.
Sometimes it's not so much about what you believe,
Was you Barack Obama?
That's a good... Now,
How hard you
I
believe
want
it.
to see that version.
because I've done such a bad Barrack on the show before, and you had to
Derek?
fix it. So yeah, I don't give a shit what it is you believe. It's that you believe something helps you get by better. So,
Yeah, that's why MAGA lives so long.
no, but we were kind of going on skeptics.
It's that and that putting horse dewormer in you is
Yeah.
actually sort of like an antifreeze.
Well, if
Wait,
you had a
don't get
horse in
cows
you,
started.
Yeah.
you ever feeling a little hoarse?
Yeah.
Maybe you need some horse dewormer.
Theoretically, though, if you could not believe in religion, and you could still have something else to believe in.
Yeah,
That makes
sure.
you think, oh, I'm
Alients.
Maybe it could be that, or maybe non-believers are thinking, I'm just trying to do the best I can in this life because it's the only one. They might be trying to do more in this life than what they might do after this life, and then maybe that gives them purpose.
Yeah.
I think if it gives you
Carpe
purpose.
I think so too. I think did you guys see Heretic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heretic does
Love
a good job
Heretic.
of turning that on its head, where it's saying that by being someone who is so vehemently against faith and religion and disproving it, you are creating something for you to believe in, and it is something that is kind of even more destructive because you're believing in something not being real.
Yeah.
Believing so hard in something not being real that it becomes your faith, and it's even more destructive.
It's like people who spend their time hating shit. I hate that.
Yes, yeah. You hate that.
I hate it. I hate the haters.
All I think about is how much I hate that.
And Hugh Grant needed, he had his own little flock
Yeah,
for
exactly.
it to pull it off too. So, yeah.
He was evangelizing. That movie is great. And I think that's a good movie to compare this to, because I think this is Wake Up Dead Man is a much less bleak movie that I think is kind of saying the same thing without that. Not saying the same thing, but I think it has the same perspective on religion and
What is
faith.
Heretics saying?
I think that Heretic is saying kind of that it's not so much what you believe in. I think that you just really perfectly, I thought it was Harrison Ford for a second saying it.
It's how hard you believe it. It's not what you believe.
The more you do it, it's veering into RFK, the level of hoarseness.
Garbage disposal voice.
It's not whether or not I believe in vaccines. At this point, it's how many people I've convinced to not take them.
Yeah.
Me personally, I'm telling pregnant mothers.
How much I can vilify autism.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Sorry to the autistic people vilified by RFK Jr.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
You got to pull out a diagnosis on this show.
Oh,
That's how
really?
we-
Okay.
You have it on
I'll
your
show
phone?
it to the camera. Yeah, I have it
What
on
did
my
your
mic
mom
chart.
say earlier about when you stopped
What do you mean
believing in
earlier?
Santa?
She said, well, this actually speaks directly to that point. So you'll hear this, you eagle-eyed listeners will notice this question will actually be asked.
Eagle-eyed listeners.
This text will be sent in what you're about to hear after
In the future,
this.
you'll
In the
send a
future,
text
I'll
that
send
we've
a
already
text.
gotten the answer
We're going
to.
to take a look at an answer to, where my mom said, I vaguely remember that you and your friends were doubting it and you were asking me point blank questions and I couldn't lie. Maybe
Santa Claus.
first or second grade? Yeah, about Santa Claus.
Oh, okay.
alright.
First
So-
or
It
second?
was like 7 or 8.
That's
maybe
like
earlier.
next year or the year after for my older one.
Yeah.
I can't play this episode in the car when they can hear it. I mean, I wouldn't anyways
Well,
because we
this
swear
could
and
be
talk
how
about
it
inappropriate
happens.
things.
Yeah. This could be how you do the reveal. But yeah, I was very inquisitive. Oh, hold on. Sorry, I'm pulling up my chart.
You actually have a diagnosis in your MyChart?
I do. I actually.
Damn,
I wasn't
son.
formally screened, but I had a therapist
Push for one?
say like, "Yeah, you're probably there," and
What?
so.
What are we talking
We're
about?
talking about autism diagnosis.
Oh.
Spectrum?
Since
Yeah.
some of us have, gotten
Yeah.
the therapized version.
Yeah, but you went through one and
I
didn't
didn't.
have
I
it.
didn't score. I am.
You
Yeah.
failed.
I am not an autist. I am
Just an asshole.
I have type A personality. Yes.
Yeah, you're just kind of a rude guy.
Yeah. Something
You
like
have no
that.
excuse. Yeah.
I have
No Nazi
excuse.
salutes for you.
That's
Yeah.
why I was going.
Yeah.
is
Yeah, I could get away with it.
And then you pull up your mic chart for 15 minutes. No, the rest of the people at this dinner, it's fine.
Yeah.
Let me pull up my mic chart.
I do.
It's fine. Get
It
dessert.
is somewhere
I'll pull
in
it up. You'll see.
health summary. No,
Don't actually pull.
I'm gonna show it to
What
the
was the
camera.
call from Wake Up Dead Man that you guys were so...
It was when
he
the lady
calls
called
the
Louise.
lady from the service that can remove the door from the mausoleum,
Mm-hmm.
and it's suddenly where it's like this joke scene where she is being really chatty and he's trying to brush
Mm-hmm.
her off, and she's like talking too much, and then it suddenly completely shifts where you see the moment where he remembers, like who he is supposed to be.
Mm, Yeah.
Because
And
she
what-
loses it. She's like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
She like
I'm-
opens, yeah, but she's kind of like, will you pray for me for something?
Yeah.
And you kind of see him be like, yeah, sure, whatever. And then she like gets emotional, and there's just this unbelievable, like I think probably in my eyes, the best moment of that movie, where you see him immediately shift and be like, I have lost track of what my role is here and what is important to me. Like you see him realize that he's lost track of what's important to him.
And then that's why he stops engaging with Benoit to
Yeah.
like, hey, I've got to figure this out. Yeah, I was wondering why that was Bridget Everett on the other end of the phone.
What is she from?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Somebody somewhere, which has come up on the show before.
Okay, I was not familiar with her, but like the fact that they put her name like in the main credits, I'm like, oh, she has some stature. If they're put, you don't, if your name is in the main on end credits.
You can tell from the way the movie is made that you wouldn't cut to this person on the other end of the phone unless you were going to do something with them. Like, why would you create that set with that actor in it unless you were going to do something with it?
But I think that also could have been like a mystery thing. Like it was set up pretty early on in that conversation that we would hear from her again. And so I think that it doesn't really hang a lantern and like telegraph, oh, this is going to be a bigger moment than we're making it out to be. I think it just says like, this is a real person. We're establishing this as a real person and not just like a voice on a phone. I would kind of argue that might have been more effective if they didn't show her.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
The whole thing would have been, I wondered about that.
Faceless
Like, could they have
person,
cut to just that? Because even if they shot it, they could have cut it to just be him on the phone.
I just thought that was great because it showed I thought that was like the best moment of his character arc, because his whole thing was that he was he became so afraid of, in the first act, he became so afraid of losing his purpose and what was important to him. He felt this role that he had found that was very important to him, that then he started losing track of, acting in a way that was losing track of what was important to him.
Yes.
And I thought that was just very good characterization. Sorry, I'm still finding my autism
Nah,
diagnosis.
I have to debate you because this is a debate show. The reason you have to see her is so that the audience can judge her. The audience, you need the audience, this is the kind of thing that they do like, oh, this silly woman on the other end of the phone.
Yeah.
she
Okay.
seems
So
kind of
that the audience gets the rug pull too. I think that's true.
damn, look, because you just accept my argument. Well,
Yeah, I'm
we
not
had a
really
good
a.
baiter.
I'm a different kind of baiter. I'm sure you've never thought of those kinds of jokes on the show, right?
Judge in what way?
Oh, you did
What-
upside down hand, just like Josh Brolin.
Yeah,
Like a front.
Yeah, he
Let's
talks about
talk
that.
about that. Yeah.
They talk about like you. So he really couldn't like get an erection, right?
Yeah,
That
I
was
think
the-
he couldn't. So all that was
Okay.
all fake.
He was
That
just
might have
making
been
it
why
up.
he was so. I mean, he was literally filled with impotent rage. Like that was.
He was young, dumb, and full of
This is
Christ.
something. I love. That's like the fact that that's such an early line in the movie is so stupid and funny.
That's great. Because boomers aren't going to get why that's offensive.
Yeah,
potentially.
exactly. It's like a perfect demographic thing.
And as the only Christian here, I'm not offended by it
Yeah.
anyway, and I don't think Christ is either,
Yeah.
because my view of Christianity is like, if it makes you laugh, God wanted you to.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
That's
does
not
that
a
apply
good
if it
thing.
makes you
Yeah,
beautiful?
Let's
that
debate if
applies
God is
to
real.
to
Does that apply to
murder.
ejaculation? If you ejaculate, did God want you to ejaculate?
Well, why does it lower your
accord-
heart rate to
all-
do that?
All according to plan.
I-
It lowers my heart rate when I take heroin.
Yeah.
Sure, but to an unhealthy degree.
That's
And
true.
are you taking heroin?
Not routinely.
Okay. Oh,
No,
please tell me you're not taking heroin.
I'm not taking heroin.
Those are like real drugs, man. Like, you can't have that.
I had to stop smoking weed at the beginning of this year because I started to get sick and anxious, so I couldn't handle heroin.
Okay, good. What was your question?
If ejaculation is like laughter, like if it happens, God wanted it to happen. It's all part of God's plan.
So
Like,
you know how in
look at
Texas-
all God's plans all over the ceiling.
You know, in Texas, you can't look at like sites, porn sites in Texas, unless you like enter your thing. So like people have to go to other types of like
What-
Reddit and these types
Enter
of places.
what? And what do you have to
Driver's
enter?
license? Right?
You, well, you have to enter your driver's license.
Yeah,
to
government
use
ID.
porn
Driver's
sites
license.
in Texas. Yeah, so like, no, you're not going to give them your.
Yeah, now they have your stuff. Like
Yeah. Well, the napkin will have your stuff pretty soon. But.
Yeah, well, that too.
Nice.
But I'm not talking about the day glow yellow stuff. I'm talking about.
Do we want to talk about Glenn Close being the bad guy or the culprit? I kind of called that one from the beginning. I was like, Glenn
From the
Close,
very
suspected
beginning?
her.
because she's the first
How
one you
far
see.
can this camera zoom?
I don't think that close.
Hold it up like right. It's on a long lens, a somewhat long
I'm showing
lens.
my
That's why it's far away.
credentials.
You might want to hold it right up
giving
in
away
front of your
private
face.
medical data? Is you're like Social Security or whatever?
No, it's just all of the different health conditions that I have.
Oh,
One of them is serial killer.
What?
Though, so
Oh,
that's
really?
not private.
You
Yeah.
get diagnosed that? That's
Yeah.
just
amazing.
getting some Cheerios and downing those fucks.
Yeah. Yeah.
Serial killer, get it?
Yeah. That didn't make me laugh, so that wasn't
I
God's
didn't get it.
plan.
Explain it to me.
So it's a type of breakfast food, cereal.
What is
and breakfast comes in the morning, so you know when you've woken up
Whoa,
after a
breakfast
night of
comes in the
just
morning?
killing people mercilessly because
Yeah.
you were a serial killer.
Right.
And then you wake up and you're like, man, I'm hungry, but I don't want
I
to wait
find
to
that
cook
killing
things.
is really the only thing that feels like it wakes me up.
I need some sort of like milk that, basically only babies and olds need. And I'll mix that with like a lot of sugar and some flakes.
Breast milk?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, all right.
Where
Is
you
there
get
sugar
that?
in breast milk?
I don't
I
know.
mean-
Oh,
I
that
don't
brings
remember.
me oddly to a good question because it reminds me of a joke from this show. Have you guys watched Poker Face, the
Yes.
other Ryan Johnson show?
Oh yeah, I haven't seen. I've seen like the first
I'm in
two
season
episodes
2.
of
I'm
that.
not all the way done. It's canceled now, and they're shopping it around with a different lead.
I'm sure they're going to get picked up.
Okay.
But it sucks that it's a different lead.
Peter Dinklage is going to be the.
Supposedly,
The
yes.
new lead?
I love Peter
Yes.
Dinklage.
Yeah.
I love Peter Dinklage.
All right.
I love the shorts. I love the smalls. Okay.
The red is the red height.
Yeah.
I'm not saying for what. Jeffrey had a
Reminds
bunch
me
of
of something.
running around
Back
the
to
island.
Poker Face?
Yeah.
I just want to chase him.
Whose face?
No, that Poker Face
Poker,
is
I
great.
hardly know her. Sorry.
I was like kind of going into
Like a joke a
Kyle,
minute.
that was way too far, man.
Yeah.
No, I'm really sorry. Hey, listen, just all of the people out there, sorry.
Yeah, do you want to do the apology video now so that we don't have to do it? I was kind of worried going into this because Poker Face, I think both seasons have been made in between Glass Onion and Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
And so there was part of me that was like, did he use up a lot of good premises and good ideas in Poker Face? And no, he didn't. He didn't. I mean, there are good ideas and premises in Poker Face, but it like...
Okay, I will quibble with the mystery in that, did they need to, like, they just needed to get into the cemetery.
You're talking
thing.
about the movie.
tomb.
Yeah, I'm
not
talking
part
about
of
Wake
this.
Up Dead
Okay.
Man.
Yeah.
Okay.
They just needed to get the jewel inside the dead man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, they didn't need to do all these things around, like, oh, maybe he rose from the dead or something like that. I didn't understand why they made it that much more complicated. They did Benoit Blanc's flaw.
Wait.
They made it more
It's from
complicated
Glass
than they
Onion.
have. Yeah, and that's why they got caught, because they made this whole, like, he is risen thing, and all they had to do was steal the jewel when they went into
Well,
the
I think it was
mausoleum.
more about. I think it was the jewel was part. There's a couple different motives. I feel like like the jewel was part of it. For a while, I thought, oh, Josh Brolin is alive. They gave him something that just knocks him out.
I thought Josh Brolin
super
killed
like
himself.
out. Like he
I
doesn't
thought
have the
that
balls.
too, but you
For a
see
good
his
chunk
dead
that
body.
He faked his death, and then when the
Mm.
detective says, like, there's a moment where the detective, not Benoit Blanc, the like police detective, straight up says, like, yeah, but he was dead, like medically dead. And I took that as the movie being like, no, we're not bullshitting you about him. Like, he's
Yeah.
dead. And I thought that was great.
But
like,
they also
that's really good, right?
they also show you his dead body.
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
and you don't have the thought that he's still but you saw his dead body. He's dead.
It's great because
yeah.
they do the same trick that they do on the characters, where there's a moment of like, wait, did he fake his death? And then it's like, they really get you to believe that just for a second, like think that. And then if you think for a second, you're like, no, they showed us so much that proves that they... Here's my big criticism of this movie. It's such a nitpick, but it's in watching it the second time, it was the only flaw that I noticed, is that sewing the thing onto the like devil head, the hollow devil head dagger handle thing onto the back of his vestments is such a risky, terrible idea that is like,
Because you could have caught it much
there
earlier
are
than that.
so many times where like there's just so many ways that plan could fail, like that I don't believe that they would think of that, because it's just, I feel like if it was like, Jeremy Renner and Glenn Close, the actors, their characters in that, putting their heads
Hawkeye
together.
and lady from Nova Corps.
Hawkeye and Nova Corps lady, yeah. Putting their heads together and being like, okay, how do we stage
Kill
this
Thanos.
since he's about to betray, how do we kill?
Sorry.
Since he's about to betray this church and we want to keep the belief alive, how do we stage this? I think if one of them said, oh, we should, with just like 2 threads, stitch what looks like the handle of the dagger to the back, so that to Father Jud, it looks like he's been stabbed in the back before we actually put the dagger in. I feel like the other one would immediately be like, yeah, but what if he notices, or anybody else notices, or it falls off because it's on by like 2 threads? It's like, that was the only part of the mystery that I was like, I don't really believe that.
I think that might be why I rate this a little lower than Knives Out, because the Knives Out twist where you think, oh, she did it, Marta did it, but no,
yeah, Knives Out is pretty airtight. Like, there's nothing in Knives Out that you can be like, I don't believe that.
My big criticism, I went through a few different like passes in my head, because when they did the thing where Father Jud sits down with Blanc and writes the letter that he narrates in VO, they were kind of cagey, but it felt like they were trying to make it seem like he was the killer. Like they were trying to maybe do like a Marta thing. And because they were tiptoeing around it, the language was not very clear. The very first thing I thought was that, and I'm like, what? That Father Jud stabbed him to make it look like, because they didn't, just to hide the fact that he was drinking. And like that's weird. That's obviously not what happened. I thought
but that is interesting, because that is you like almost putting together something that they haven't really shown yet.
Yeah,
and that's cool.
But then even once I got over that hump, I'm like, okay, that's not what they were telling me, which is good, because that would have been weird. I still was wondering, like, why did they need to make it a stabbing in the first place? The ones who actually did it, why did they need to make it a stabbing? Because it's just, if you, like, yeah, I get the tranquilizer in the flask was not going to kill him.
I think it was so that they could frame Father Judd specifically.
You think so?
Yeah. I think it was so that it was something that could only have been, like, him doing it when they couldn't, like, because that is why everyone thinks he did it, is because he was the only one who had like the means to do that.
The only my pushback on that though is that they couldn't have predicted that he was gonna go in there
first,
and like, you know, like how, and I don't like
could have. I think they timed it
the closest, and he's when he falls over, and usually doesn't fall over.
He's the one who would have seen that happen. I think they could have predicted. There is a lot of stuff where it's like they were kind of, well, I guess that's kind of in character. They were putting their faith in this plan that wasn't completely perfectly constructed.
Yeah.
Like, I think that you could read that as being kind of like, just debate you on that.
There you go.
Am I
See?
doing it right?
That's you're doing the show correct.
I think that you could say that that is a character thing for them, is that their whole thing is that they are people who need to cling to their faith and their belief that things will get better for them if they just believe that they will. And so they made a plan where there are some elements of it where things could go wrong because they are...
That's their kink?
Yeah, because that's... No, not that that's their kink,
Because
that's
their
how
faith.
That's
so
how they
like,
think.
Yeah.
What was Jeremy Renner's character's? What would his motivation have been? Because I know
he
Glenn
was
Close.
money.
I said there was a Sherlock Holmes thing, and that was in that, which is that in the Hound of the Baskervilles, which I said in the non-spoiler thing is like probably the best mystery in the Sherlock Holmes mythos. The guy who did it, spoilers for that.
Spoilers for a 100-year-old
150-year-old book.
1890s novel, 1890s novella, yeah. The guy who did it is, I don't know if he's a doctor exactly, but he's like a scientist or researcher who collects and pins and researches butterflies. And so you see Dr. Nat's house, and his walls are covered in pinned butterflies, and he has like butterfly wallpaper and all of this butterfly decor. And I think that that was a little bit of a nod to that, saying, because it's like a very prominent image in the Hound of the Baskervilles, like the copy that I have of it, the cover is a pattern made out of butterflies. And so I think that to me, I saw that and I was like, that's a weird detail. Oh, it's an Easter egg, and that makes me think, and it was before they had even really given you anything to think that he had done it. I was like, oh, he's in on it somehow. Because it's like a little Easter egg to make you, well, actually my thought was like, either he did it or that's something that I'm supposed to, that's an Easter egg that's supposed to make me.
Where do you see the butterfly with Jeremy Renner?
His whole house is covered. When you see his house, his whole house is covered in like, sorry, you might have thought I was talking about the
I did,
doctor
yes.
in the
Okay,
book.
now I get it,
The
yes.
like wallpaper and the pinned butterflies cover Dr. Nat's house in that.
And he
was motivated by his wife running away and money.
Well,
He's
because he's
got
also
money
drunk.
back.
it was a money
during
thing for
his
him,
work,
but
yeah.
Glenn Close, it was about the faith. She didn't like
Yeah.
that
Well,
he
it
had
was
the
that the
illegitimate child.
influencer guy was
This is
going
illegitimate
to,
child, yeah.
I think that, they kind of played it weirdly where they made it seem like it was only once the diamond was in front of him that he was motivated by money. But I think she was taking advantage of him and kind of manipulating him into it. And I think it's kind of up to interpretation at what point he became motivated by wanting to take it for the money and at what point he was just being manipulated by her.
Well, when she confesses because Jud challenges her to confess her worst sin to the Monsignor Wicks, and then she does, which gives Monsignor Wicks the idea of where the Eye of Eve or the apple, whatever you call it, is the diamond. And then that's why he walks out of the confession booth like, whoa, I know where the diamond is.
Which
now.
is a great moment that does something that I feel like they've consistently done really well in each of these, where they do something that you first think is just like a joke, like something that like you don't think like.
I didn't think it was a joke. I thought they were trying to make it go, oh, we're thinking this way, but you thought it was what?
I thought it was just a joke where it's like, oh, the super pious lady goes into the confession booth and confesses whatever her sinful thoughts and actions are that she's bottling up, and now the priest is like stumbling out, shell-shocked. Like, I took it completely as a joke at first.
It's a false payoff. It's like they're making you think it's serving a purpose right then and there.
Yeah, that's what's
so you stop thinking about it.
They do those so well.
Yeah.
I feel like almost every sort of seed that they plant in these, they give you a reason for it to be there besides being in the mystery, so you don't immediately go, oh, that's a clue. Although there are definitely things that do that better than others in these, but I think that's something that they do really well on the sort of mystery construction front, is they give a good reason for every moment and clue beyond it being a clue.
The politician being his son, or the failed politician being his son, that's, I guess that's part of the political satire, is just to have the influencer / failed politician guy be the one who just wants power. And that's what Monsignor Wicks claims to want, in addition to his current stat.
I think it's a touch. I don't think it like represents the whole theme of the movie.
I think you could also interpret it as like him being his son is like, could also be a more sort of overt, there's a more overtly anti-church reading where you're saying that like manipulative, hate-mongering influencers are the next generation of, religious leaders. I think that there's a reading where you could say that that's criticizing the church and saying that they're doing the same thing.
Candace Owens said only when Israel bought them out, so I don't know.
Okay, good.
She's got a conspiracy theory.
Get her on the show.
I would love to have Candace on the show if she wants to pick a movie, but
Candace, if I could just bend your ear about a couple
we can't afford her security.
What do you think movie Candace Owens would pick?
What movie would Candace Sticky Pussy Owens pick?
Bird of a Nation.
Does Mick know the background of Stinky Pussy?
That's her official name.
When you first said it to me, I'm like, how do we know?
No, it makes sense.
Because that's what Dave Chappelle said about her after she said that George Floyd was on drugs. So now she's Candace
So her
Sticky
pussy must
Owens.
be
Right?
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I kick away the sticky pussy.
If the shoe fits, yeah.
So I don't know what you
I
think.
keep bumping on
People versus Larry.
like the more we talk about the motives for Jeremy Renner and Glenn Close, the more I keep bumping on the. I can watch it again and not and just ignore it, but like, man, I really wish they'd thought of something.
For
Why it need to be a stabbing? Like, you could, if you're a doctor and you have access to horse tranquilizer, you have access to something that could also just flat out kill him too.
just poison him.
Yeah, so
Don't,
why did
like,
she
stab him too.
die?
Yeah, why do you have to like?
I think that could be a last minute, because the reason that they did that was because he threw the devil head thing into
The wolf's head.
the wolf's head.
Because the world is a wolf.
Yes, and
Oh.
the church is he throws that through the window, so his fingerprints are on it.
Sure.
So they make a knife out of that and make that the murder weapon that he only touches, that Jeremy Renner only touches wearing gloves, under the pretense of him wanting to keep it clean.
Okay, so that is a very good point, and that makes sense. Then the next thing I bump on, that does help a lot. Then the next thing I bump on is like, what would they have done if Father Jud hadn't shown up? You know what I mean? Like, they were just.
I think they probably would have done what you were talking about, where they would just poison him.
So it's maybe just a moment of opportunity, which I think, you're allowed one or maybe two of those in a script. A moment of opportunity to capitalize on, and then, okay. Because I was wondering that too, like, why?
The implication is that they came up with this that night, because when he throws the thing through the window, then he walks in on the secret meeting where they're finding out that he's turning on his flag.
After that, he walks in on the secret meeting. Then he gets the father.
Then he goes to the bar.
Then he pulls the wolf's head off at the devil bar.
He throws it through the window. So that's like a couple hours after they found out that he was going to betray the church. And so I think that makes sense that was right as they were coming up with it.
Yeah.
And I think that also kind of accounts for like my criticism of that, the like sewing the thing on and how dumb of an idea that would be.
Yeah.
Is like, they were completely like flying by this. Like they came up with it the night before that sermon. Was it the night before? I think it was. I think they say the next day.
Yeah.
Because it's Holy Week, and
so they have sermons every day.
They could have also just. I'm really like nitpicking here. Like, if they wanted to, because that's the thing. Like, they couldn't have counted on the flask not being found. It was Father Judd's decision to like kick the flask behind the door. Based on so they couldn't have counted on the flask not being found.
There's something in there. They say something about that. MBwTFB says something about like they didn't expect the like.
Like they could have just had like if you could have gotten Father Judd's fingerprints.
They said that Nat was looking for it. They said that Nat goes.
Yeah.
One of the two reasons that Nat goes to look at the body is to put the knife in, and then he tries to find it, and he's.
Oh, they were going to take it. The plan
because
was
he
to
can't
take
find
it.
it.
I see. Okay, so that makes sense.
Because when Jud first goes to look at the body, he kicks that.
Okay, so they were gonna go in there either way, because they were gonna stab him. But they could have, if they could have just gotten Father Judd's fingerprints on the flask, that could have been enough, rather than the whole elaborate. Oh, we're gonna stitch the fucking devil head to his cloak, and then
But that might have been hard to do, though. Like that might have been harder to do. I also like the idea that kind of, I don't know. I'm not thinking this through that much, but I'd love to discuss it. Is there a thing in these movies where each of the antagonists get caught because of the core flaw that the movies are criticizing them for?
Oh yeah.
Where that's definitely true in Glass Onion, where it's because he thinks he's smarter than he is.
Yes.
And in Knives Out, I'm trying to remember why he gets caught.
I think because there's something about a conversation overheard through like the air vents.
Oh, it's because he is entitled, so they convince him that his other murder was successful, right?
Yes.
They convince him that he killed the cleaning lady.
Oh yeah.
And he believes it like without a second of doubt and confesses because he thinks that they don't have anything on him because he's entitled. And so then when he finds out that he wasn't successful in killing her, he's taking it back because it's so easy for him to believe that he was successful.
We're talking very late in the game where at the very, very end.
Yeah.
I forget how they like even turn their attention. But I thought that they turned their attention to him though. I thought when there's a it's been a couple of years since I've watched Knives Out.
I haven't watched Knives Out in a while, but I've watched Glass Onion a couple of times, which is weird to me.
Yeah.
And you can't watch Knives Out.
There's some conversation.
I know Glass Onion is a movie better than Knives Out.
There's a conversation like that's heard through the vents that makes it that's I think shifts the attention to him.
Isn't it her that overhears it?
Something like that.
And then that's why he tries to kill her.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
But I think that's interesting because then in this one. Because I feel like if we look at it as like the moment that they get caught is because of the thing that the movie is thematically criticizing. And in the first one, it's entitlement. In the second one,
Nouveau Riche.
It's like
tech people, oligarchs.
Yeah, oligarchs, the sort of self-importance of oligarchs and tech people. And then in this one, it's interesting because she gets caught because she confesses to it. But
she has to, like they've figured it out, and the whole thing is that she has to choose to confess because the power of that for her will be better for her since he figures out she's taken the...
It's really good writing in all three of them, the way that happens, because it's not just like a thematic thing. I think it's like Benoit Blanc figures it out and then catches them in their own flaw, gets them with their own flaw. Not just like he explains it and he gets them arrested. He gets them to expose themselves by exploiting the flaw that made them do it and that the movie is about.
Gets the antagonist to
confess,
use their greatest flaw against the flaw we accept about them.
Because he had it figured out in this one when he saw the tub with the acid, and he's on the phone. He's like, "It's finished." He knew then what it was. So then from the rest of it, from that point forward, it was just getting them to say it, basically.
Here's a question. Could this movie be shorter? It's 2 hours and 26 minutes. Should it have been shorter if it were in a theater?
I didn't mind the length. I will say I didn't mind the length.
You don't want it to be shorter?
I think that
I would take 10 minutes off.
I would maybe
Where?
take 10 minutes off.
Middle.
I would
Middle
take
specifically,
like
though.
5
Yeah.
minutes out of the middle and maybe 5 minutes out of the opening. I did think that it starts pretty, like I get that they're setting up all the characters and stuff, but I do think that it starts pretty unengaging with like how much time, like it's good to get to know the characters, but I wonder how much of that they could have done more organically through the plot rather than having it be like, okay, this is the setup period and now the plot is starting. I do think that setup period maybe could have been.
And I think that's
trimmed a little bit.
Netflixification of what is a good movie, that if it were still going to the movie theater like it should be,
Yep.
it wouldn't, face this. But if it weren't Netflix, this movie wouldn't have been guaranteed. He would have had Glass Onion, and then that would have done what Glass Onion did in a theater, and then maybe we wouldn't get Wake Up Dead Man.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's hard to speculate because they made a deal for 2 movies right up front. So I like, who knows what Glass Onion would have made if it was a traditional theatrical release. But I'm glad they got to this one. I'm glad that it's like, I mean, it's like the Universal's Exorcist deal. They paid $400 million for 3 movies, and now they're just going ahead because, like, why? Even though the first of their supposed 3 was a dumpster fire, like, what better? I mean, they already paid the money, so like, go ahead and
Might
make
as well
another
make
one.
another-
We benefit from this system, but we can still criticize it.
Yeah.
And
Now we don't know
future-
that we
that's a-
benefit from
Well, now
it.
we're
That's
getting
a
a Mike
future
Flanagan
callback.
directed Exorcist sequel. So
Yes.
With
That's
Scarlett
awesome.
Johansson?
I want
Huh?
With
more
Scarlett
Scarlett
Mike
Johansson?
Flanagan, Stephen King pairings.
yeah, I really
could
like
watch
Doctor
those
Sleep.
forever. Doctor Sleep was. Here's a hot take for you guys. I think Doctor Sleep is better than Kubrick's Shining.
Oh.
I told him that recently because he's
Oh, yeah?
just about to get to the 3rd act of
Yeah. Been
Dr.
watching it in the
Sleep.
sauna.
Watching it in a sauna.
Yeah,
Well,
Cal has a sauna in his basement.
And you Bluetooth in.
Yeah.
And,
I do think Doctor Sleep earns its
Dude,
length.
you gotta get me in on that.
you're nearby. And you
I
text
am
me
nearby.
sometime.
I think Doctor Sleep earns its length more than The Shining. Like, The Shining doesn't have to be fucking 2.5 hours long. Doctor Sleep feels like it needs to be that long.
I feel like Doctor Sleep is just more because Doctor Sleep is scarier. I think.
Oh.
I think Doctor Sleep is horrifying.
I do
Yeah.
not think it's that I just think it's a nice, like, you would never expect the sequel to The Shining, which they didn't have to make it a sequel to the movie. They chose that
Yeah.
by just making some tweaks to the book to make it fit the continuity.
And I think it works better.
I
As
like-
someone who
I
read
like that they
I
did
didn't read
it.
Doctor Sleep. I read The Shining.
Yeah.
And I think the fact that they have the Overlook burned down. Now we're spoiling Doctor Sleep and The Shining. The fact that they have the Overlook burned down at the end of Doctor Sleep rather than at the end of The Shining, and have it be like, this is the have it be the definitive. And I think that's better because I think that the Overlook burning down at the end of The Shining shows that they weren't planning on continuing that story.
They weren't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think he was planning on anything. I think he was.
He was on drugs at the
Cocaine.
time.
Cocaine
Yeah.
wrote that book.
Cocaine,
Cocaine
yeah.
wrote that
Cocaine
book.
wrote it. Cocaine wrote Christine. Cocaine wrote a lot of Stephen King
The
books.
fact that we only got like one child orgy scene in all of those is pretty impressive with how much cocaine that guy was on.
Versus just all the child murder he does.
Yeah, that was his response, I think, to being criticized for the child orgy in it. He was like, well, I notice you're not criticizing all the child murder. And we're like, yeah, you're making that clearly a bad thing. You made the child orgy a good thing.
I'm glad they skipped that in both movies.
Oh.
I've read that part of the book. I have not read all of it, but I've read that part.
You skipped ahead.
Well, I just what are the parts that's not what? What? What?
Yeah.
What? They're not going to put that in the movie, are they? Yeah, not for me to judge. The TV show, the new one, Welcome to Derry, is very good.
Yeah. Oh,
So-
it's great.
I-
There have been bits of that. Like, it's funny because I love horror, but there are like specific things that I have to like turn off and read about. Like the thing in the new It series where that the girl is having like the hallucination. It's like the scariest scene in that show, but where she's having like the parasite hallucination with the eyes. That didn't freak me out, but when she starts trying to cut them off and you realize that it's not real and that she is just actually like trying to cut her eyes out.
Her eyes,
is like, that was like, I couldn't, I was like, that's too far for me. Like,
I showed that to my wife.
Like a
context?
child being manipulated into like very
Stabbing their eyes?
viscerally hurting themselves is like, that's too far for me. No.
Yeah,
I could probably do it in a book. I couldn't do it on screen. And I think that's why Dr. Sleep is really scary to me too, because like
kids getting
there's
screwed
so much
up.
kids getting like tortured. Like that's rough. And
Jacob Tremblay deserves like
that was so upsetting and well done. That
in
scene.
between takes, he's just like all happy-go-lucky.
Have you
That's
seen
like
it? Yeah, I've seen the like. Oh my god, yeah.
Any last thoughts on Wake Up Dead Man?
I'm glad that it tackled religion the way it did.
Very good movie.
Yeah.
I think it was very thoughtful. I think it is, at least as of right now, my favorite of the three, and that's saying something because Knives Out, I have put in my like rotating letterboxd top 4 at points.
Oh my god!
Which means that this will probably now be there in its stead.
This is the visual record by which it has to be. Obviously,
Visual record.
That's true.
check his letterbox.
What is up there right now? It's probably some bullshit right now. I think Annihilation's on there.
Annihilation?
Yeah, man.
All right.
I'm reading the book right now.
There's it's a part of a series. There's like 2 that come after it, right?
I'm towards the end of the first book. I think I like the book. I love the movie. It's like my favorite sci-fi movie, period, I think. But the book, I think, does it even better. The book is like a really cool. The book is way more sort of Lovecraftian, and like we're not going to explain. Like it's in the movie, it's like opens with like this is some kind of alien something that has crashed and is causing this. In the book, it's genuinely just like something. Yeah, this is like there's an entity here. There's a presence here that is causing this, and I think that's like kind of more my shit. Oh, also on my letterbox, I think is I'm Not There, which I watched shortly after we watched A Complete Unknown. I had seen it years before as like a 14-year-old probably, and I wasn't that big of a Dylan fan at the time, so I didn't get it. And then after because we had that on like in the background when we talked about A Complete Unknown, and I was like seeing it in the background. I was like, oh, I should watch that again. And then I did, and I was like, oh, this is one of my favorite movies because I love how it tells the story of Bob Dylan and kind of, or more sort of tells the stories that he told, I guess, is what's cool about it. I don't know. I really like that movie. I think it's funny that I wish that I had rewatched it before our Complete Unknown episode because I bet I could have talked about it more.
Even more. Well, go back and listen to those episodes, please, and judge if Mick could have done better.
Nick, last thoughts?
If I brushed off I'm Not There or said like, yeah, I remember that being pretty good, I think it's probably more interesting, and that was what I left it at, I was wrong. And
it's
that's
the best.
One of my favorite movies, and is way better than A Complete Unknown. I've soured a little bit on A Complete Unknown since I saw it.
Dang, all right.
Did you see that, Nick?
No, I didn't.
Weren't on that
I saw
episode.
neither movie, so I can't comment.
Yeah.
You should. Do you like Bob Dylan? Do you know anything about Bob Dylan?
I don't really like
You do that Bob Dylan impression.
flip flop, skipped it.
That's the worst
That's
one.
kind of more Dewey Cox as Bob Dylan, but that's
I know Dewey Cox is Bob Dylan more than Bob Dylan.
That's when that works. Yeah.
Flip rim job. Yeah, yeah.
It's good. Dylan's a good impression because he had a distinctive way of speaking, but it changed a little bit through each sort of era of his. So any Dylan impression that's sort of close to the mark will like sound exactly like him at some point because he kept changing how he talked.
Any last thoughts?
Yeah, like when he had a couple like songs on the radio again a few years ago. It was during COVID. Like it doesn't sound anything like it's not like that. It's
a great impression.
it's just gravelly, you know.
Sounds more like Harrison Ford.
He's in
Yeah,
his
exactly
gravelly
like
voice.
Harrison Ford. Yeah.
Oh, all right. Buttress, dear Cook. Buttress.
But what's buttress?
That's from Glass Onion.
Oh.
It was yeah, it's
What does
glad.
it mean?
I got it.
Thank you.
What does it mean?
I guess tighten up your
Tying up
the-
this rap at the end of the
in the
podcast?
context of that, it's like you put away these thoughts of the
Oh,
of
okay.
good thoughts you had of me.
What would you all give the movie out of 64?
60,
Out
why
of
64?
64 is the total?
Yep.
Is this because of your Beatles fandom?
No.
When I'm 64.
No, that's a good pull though.
You're welcome.
Is there a reason for a 64?
I give it a 61.
Elon Musk, why not make it 69?
Yeah.
Oh, he's so funny and relevant.
Yeah, 69.
He's just so likable.
Make comedy legal again, huh?
I give it a 6-7 out of 64.
We're going to colonize Jupiter.
What if we make it? What if it was 60? My favorite thing with him. This shouldn't be show anymore. But my favorite
Too
thing
late.
about him is to imagine anything that he says online being said by him face to face, because he's so awkward and like bad at articulating things that if you like imagine him saying like being as aggressive in person as he is online, it's really funny.
Wait, are you punching down on this person with...
Punching down?
I'm
it was a
punching. I'm making a lateral punch. I showed my diagnosis.
If it was a
Made the
person
joke.
like who
Well,
was like
but I'm
on
not a fentanyl addict, so maybe I am punching down.
ketamine.
ketamine,
Ketamine.
is-
Sorry. Yeah,
Drug choice.
fentanyl is the poor man's ketamine.
where he's like at White House things.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
You
Good
don't
thing
know
you
if
don't
Scott
camera.
Bessett had just punched him or not.
Oh, man.
It's
I
true.
hope he did, but I know he's
wish,
also
yeah.
on ketamine probably.
62 out of 64.
60.
Yeah, I go 62. 60 as well. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I see what happened.
Yeah.
there.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.